Hello, I was asked if I could code an infinite tunnel with CSS custom properties. So that's what I'm going to be doing now. So we start with a 3D assembly element, and we're going to have a number of rings. And let's say this is going to be 9 for now. We're going to have a loop here. So a ring every time. And for every ring, again, we're going to have another loop. So we're going to have a number of segments, and this is 4. So here again, we're going to have the loop index, starts at 0, goes all the way up to the number of segments, and increases every time. And here we're going to have segments. Now we're going to set a few inline styles because there are things we set uniquely. And the thing is, if I didn't set this number here, the number of rings, then I'd have to set it in the CSS as well. And then if I wanted to change it, then I have to change it here and change it in the CSS. But if I'm setting it like this, then if I change it, I only need to change it here. So I'm going to be doing something similar right here, except this is going to be a J, and this is the current index of the ring. And I'm also going to want to have an index for every segment, but it's going to be the same for segment 0 in ring 0, segment 0 in ring 1, so there's no point in repeating stuff. So I'm going to do with another loop. So just do with another loop here, and I'm going to have segment nth child, and here I'm going to have I plus 1, and here I'm going to set this to the loop index. Sorry, that's okay. And I'm actually not going to start at 0. I'm going to set I to 0 right here. So this is it for now. Now let's put something on the screen. So we're going to have a width. And by the way, Edge now supports these units as well, because it didn't until recently. Now my segment, let's set the dimensions as well as the height. Let's set a background. This is going to be a linear gradient. And maybe these are not the prettiest colors, but they're fast. So orange and purple. So now I have something on the screen. Let's start setting more styles. So first of all, on the body, we're going to get rid of the scroll bars. Make the segments start from the top left, so I'll get rid of the margin, and make it full height. Also set a perspective, so this is going to be something like 20 ems, and also set a background. So this is it for the body. I'm not going to do anything else. Now set some styles for generic div elements. First of all of them absolutely positioned. Then I'm going to set transform style preserve 3D so that I can have nested 3D transformed elements. And now that I've done this, for my 3D assembly, I'm going to set top 50%, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing for the left. So this is going to be the left. And now let's set a proper margin so that my segments are right in the middle. So that's going to be minus half the height, and also minus half the width. And the reason I'm putting this within parentheses is because SAS is going to do the subtraction otherwise. Now let's set a few styles, but before that, I'm going to set a base. Actually, I'm not going to need it twice. So since I'm not going to need it twice, I'm just going to compute it directly here. So my base angle is going to be, and here I interpolate 360 over the number of segments, and this is going to be in degrees. And now that I've done this, let's move this on the next line. Now that I've done this, let's switch back here and let's set a transform, and this is going to be a rotate Y, and this is going to be a calc. So the index multiplied with the base angle. So now I'm there, which looks kind of weird for now. Then I'm going to have translate by half the width. And then for the rings, I need to make this a class. Okay, here I'm going to have transform, rotate X 90 degrees. Okay. Actually, thing is, I think I can make this a current angle. So I'm going to have that the current angle is 0 degrees, just like that. Or I may not set it there as well. Let's do it like this. So let's do the current angle, and this one is going to be I times 360 over the number of segments, which means I should have computed that as the base angle. So just do this base angle 360 over the number of segments, and do this degrees. And now I'm not going to need that anymore. That's going to be enough. So yeah, I'm guessing this does it. Now here I'm also going to set a translate along the y-axis, and this is going to be a calc, and I'm going to use j times the height, and it's actually going to be the height with minus, and as you can see it there. And I also want to add something like a skew y 10 degrees so that it doesn't look so straight. And okay, and one more thing I'm going to want to do here, actually I'm going to do one minus, and I'm going to remove the minus from there. So yeah, it looks way better this way. So these are my styles for the ring. I don't think I'm going to need to set other styles there. Here I'm going to set some keyframes. So keyframes move. So that's going to be 2. Translate. That's going to be so it's going to be a translation forward by the height. So here I'm going to have animation move, and I'm going to use a duration linear infinite. Okay, now I'm done with this as well, and I'm going to set the duration here. So this is going to be 1 second, let's say. So as you can see, they move forward, and the last item just appears there. So to avoid it making, actually that's the first in DOM order. This is going to be fade, and at 0% is going to be opacity 0. So opacity. And this animation right here is going to be first child, and then immediately this segment, animation, fade, the same animation duration, and infinite. So as you can see now, the last segment, the one in the back, shows up from opacity 0, but this is still looks forced. So I'm going to take this animation out of here, and I'm going to move it up here. So what I'm going to do is compute a new volume here. So M, and this is going to be something like this. Actually, make the computed ones. So here I'm going to have something like nth child minus n plus m, and the styles in here are going to be, first of all, I'm going to have that animation, and then I'm also going to have something like opacity, and this is going to be a calc value n minus j, and everything is going to be over m. Okay, so now I'm going to take this out of here. So actually this is going to be -1. Okay, and this is not going to be like that. It's going to be segment. Sorry. Okay. And the thing is, I need to set that M because I haven't set it. That's what the problem is. So just set this here and use M instead of N. Okay, so it should be now working. Okay, and it now looks a lot better. And if I have something like 19 rings, then it's going to look a lot more natural. So yeah, let's see. Wait. So let's save this a bit, and let's refresh and see how it looks. Yeah, I have this tunnel effect there. So this is it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have and you want me to be able to do more stuff like this in the future, please consider supporting my work in one of the ways explained in the description below with a donation, because that helps me pay my bills and pay for the time I'm spending doing this stuff, or get me something off my Amazon wish list. There are links there. In any event, thanks for watching.